Hey everyone. Okay, so I think one thing that was firmly established for me after reading this chapter is the Straw Hats are out of their fucking league when it comes to going up against the government. Like, at every turn, Gunko handedly dealt, pretty much dealt a crushing blow to them without even breaking a sweat. In fact, this chapter revealed that this chapter revealed they seemingly have some form of immortality, which, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna let the internet figure that one out at this point, but if I was, because it seems like everyone in a higher up position in the government seemingly shares the same source of immortality, possibly. Now, where the source of that immortality comes from is still the question. But if I had to take an educated guess, I can't help but go back to my original theory that this is somehow tied to Emu gaining immortality through the Op fruit, and and he can somehow share that immortality. I don't know. That's the only weird part about this, though, is how that power got passed on to others, because from my understanding only one person can become immortal. But getting back to the Straw Hats and how perilous this situation is becoming, at this point, there's no other option but to release Loki at this point. There's as Loki might be the only one who can, bare minimum, save the children. But even beyond that, regardless how this ends, it's been made clear, the Straw Hats are ill-equipped to face the government's holy knights, and by association, they're kind of ill-prepared to face the government as a whole. Despite what, between what happened on Egghead against the Elders and this, there's no denying that the Straw Hats aren't strong enough to face the higher echelon of the government. And the thing is, despite what Luffy might think or believe that this is a conflict think or believe that this isn't his war, this isn't a conflict he wants to get involved in. The truth is, he's going to get involved in this, whether he likes it or not. So regardless of how this ends, there's only one route this goes now. The Straw Hats have to get stronger, whether the government succeeds in their mission or not. The Straw Hats just can't continue onwards like this until they've gotten stronger than they are now. In saying all that, Sommers goes on a very interesting and revealing rant about the nonsense of Elbaf going the route of peace, saying the giants are warriors and are only useful as such to the government. Of course, the cherry on top to this is when Sommers said, "Then you had to go and screw it all up, Herald." Now, this is where I go on a bit of a tangent, but Sommers' line there makes it very much clear how much Herald's actions as king were for the purpose of trying to stonewall the government's actions in forcibly conscripting the giants. But I think what Herald was doing, what he was attempting to accomplish by having Elbaf go the path of peace, is he wanted to make Elbaf more of an asset to the world at large and show that they're more than warriors. It does. And by doing so, it does put a bit of a disruption into the government's narrative that Elbaf is a country of savages that are only good for war. So by opening themselves up to the world in such a manner, it ensures greater control over the perception. Now, this does, once again, beg the greater question, though, of what really happened when Loki killed Herald, because it's looking more and more like this isn't the first time the government attempted something like this, but rather than with children, they attempted it with Herald himself. In fact, I'll go a step further in saying at the time, I almost wonder if they wanted possession over whatever the devil fruit that's passed down the royal family line was. I'm only using the information I have on hand, so I'm not saying any of this is with absolute certainty, because we don't know for certainty until Oda drops the full story history of Herald's death. But it's feeling more and more likely that this is the case. That I think what Herald's grand vision was to basically say was to open Elbaf completely to the world, saying we're pretty much we're not just savages, we're not just beasts meant to be caged and used for war. This is it's very much kind of similar to what what Queen Otohime and King Neptune were hoping to achieve with their were hoping to achieve, but by gaining a seat at the table of the French king of the reverie. Like he wanted to show that fishmen are equals to humans, and it's kind of a similar deal here, but an extra layer of saying like of trying to prevent what the government's been doing to giants for the past like thousands of years, basically. Now, in saying that, yeah, we need to talk about Brook, because I gotta tell you, this Bone Man is not beating the allegations that he knows a lot more than he's letting on. Like, the fact that he's keenly aware of the existence of the Holy Knights, a group of assumedly the general public has no idea of their existence, much like Cypherpole. Yet Brook does seemingly seems to have something of intimate knowledge of the hierarchy of the government. Like, Brook, my boy, at some point there's going to need to be a reckoning and an explanation of how exactly you know all this seemingly secretive information that the government keeps close to the chest. Like, now, again, I don't think it's anything grand, like he's a former celestial dragon or something like that, but it is getting really hard to ignore the fact that he seems to be familiar with a lot of what goes on in the government, even the ones that... a lot of what goes on in the government, even the things that exist off record. Like, again, it's getting hard to deny Brook knows more than he lets on. The question is how he knows so much. And yeah, Gunko really goes on, really lays it out bare that there basically is a coming war, a war that'll be impossible to be, it'll be impossible to just be a bystander, and that everyone will need to choose a side. So yeah, building on the idea that the throne wars aren't just like a race in order to gain control of the One Piece. Like, these throne wars are going to throw the whole world into chaos, even more than we thought. Like, it's more than just a race to obtain the One Piece at this point. The throne wars are going to generally pose the question: how much of the world is going to survive when the dust clears on all this? I think that's the big question to ask right now. And but yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, or follow me on Blue Sky, and on Crunchyroll. Be sure to notification bell, the subscribe button, and just share it around, guys. Dark Knight of Anime signing off. Later, everyone.